Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video we are going to be playing Kerbal Space Program, and we are going to be launching a rocket to the Mun. And this is my first time doing this, and there's your little cinematic zoom out. And here's our rocket we're going to be flying today. And I gotta say, I've done this thing like, ooh, that was a bit loud. But as I was saying, I have done this thing like 5 times in a row, and the first time was like a complete mess up because part of my rocket wasn't like connected all the way, and like all the engines were just flying, I should say, like all over the place. The second time I actually made it to the Mun, and when I landed on it, when I was about to take off, I messed up the orbit and I didn't quick save it like an idiot. So yeah, and the third time, well, I landed and then I was taking off, and then when I was about to re-entry in the atmosphere, I realized I forgot my heat shield, and the whole thing just blew up. So, and yeah, this is take number 4, I think. I don't know, who knows? Let's hope it goes well. I mean, nothing ever goes right the first time, but yeah, attempt number 4, and we are slowly, what should I say? I guess rising from Kerbin's surface, I guess. I don't know. Today we're going to be bringing Valentina Kerbin, as you can see in the right bottom corner. And once I usually reach about like 4,000 meters, I'm going to start turning to the right a little bit. And as you can see, we're about to run out of fuel on our first stage, which means we're going to get into our second stage. And that's about to happen in a little bit. But first we can just watch the rocket as it rises out of the atmosphere. Alright, we've run out of fuel. Time to... Oh yeah, that's another thing I want to talk about. When I was constructing the rocket, apparently the boosters weren't really connected well with the separator, and it turns out it started like transferring fuel to like pretty much the whole first stage, and I didn't really know how that happened, but I don't know, hopefully it never does that again. But now we're going to go into map mode, and we're going to take a look at our ellipses, and we're still not quite there yet. We're going to keep burning the engines. Once the ellipsis like stretches out like halfway the whole planet, that's when I'll like stop the burn and then get in the right place. Okay, so we're starting to burn up a little bit from the atmosphere, but that's alright. That usually happens. So I brought a service bay. I don't know if you guys saw it, but you can like see it, like it's very close to the cab module, whatever it's called. But I put in a few mystery goo units, and I also put a couple of thermostats and a atmosphere or a pressure scanner thing. I don't really know what it's called, but yeah, we're going to be using those as soon as we land on the surface of the Mun. So yeah, and the reason why I'm calling it the Mun is because, well, this is a different solar system. Things are named differently in this game, so as you can see, our ellipsis is stretched the way we want it, so we're going to add a maneuver to help us get into orbit. So we're about to do that. Alrighty, we have our orbit set, or our maneuver set, should I say. And we are going to get out. We're going to warp over there. Oh my gosh, that is going so slow. Here, I'm going to get into our position that we're going to need to be in. This is going way too slow. Here, I'm going to see if I can like cancel it and then do it myself. Yeah, there we go. Alright. Okay, so we are now in the right position. Let's start the burn. And it always doesn't have to be exactly like that, but close is close enough. So we are now in a stable Kerbin orbit. I think I pronounced that right. Kerbal, who knows? Okay, so now that we're in orbit, we can create a maneuver that is going to set our course, help us set our course to the Mun, or I should say approach instead of course. So the way we do this is we usually, so once we create our maneuver node, the direction, or the place we're going to burn is going to be like 45 degrees. So yeah, and when I say maneuver, you know how like when you're doing an essay, sometimes you're gonna like do a plan first? Well, that's basically what this is. It's gonna help us plan our approach when we execute the burn. It took me like 5 minutes to do this because I obviously did something wrong, so I'm going to fast forward so none of you have to wait. So here we go. Okay, I have created my maneuver node and I'm going to move it a bit closer because it wasn't as close. I usually like to have the periapsis, I think that's what it is. I usually like to have it like no more below than 20,000 meters. I think it's 20,000 meters, not 20 or 200,000, but so we have our maneuver set, and I'm going to get into the correct direction of our rocket, and then after that I'm going to time warp it. So let's just give this thing a second. Alrighty, now we can start time warping. I'm gonna rotate it a little bit just so it looks a little bit more stable. So we're now going to time warp around the planet, and we can't time warp any faster than this. I apologize for that. Alrighty. We're now going to fire up the engines right now. And you see that little bar that has like the green on it? You see it going down? That's basically how should I put this? Well, we have to put in our third stage, or was it second stage? I think it was second. Actually no, it could have been third. But yeah, as I was saying, as that green thing lowers down, it means our periapsis is getting closer to where we had our maneuver node set up to it. So we're going to slowly get it correct. And oh, we went a little too far because we're now in a collision course. So, but that's easily fixable because we can just go in the complete other direction. And just like that. Alrighty. The only thing we could do now is warp. So I'll let you guys see that. So goodbye Kerbin. And here we are. We are now at the Mun. So now we are pretty close to our periapsis, and this is when we would retrograde or burn in the opposite direction of where I'm heading, in case if you guys didn't know that. I usually like to create a maneuver node. You don't really have to because the Mun has very low gravity and you're not traveling to like another planet, but I don't know, I just like to do it because it keeps me extra accurate. So we're going to time warp, and then we're going to execute the burn. We are getting just about there, and voila, we are now in a stable Mun orbit. So now the only thing we could do is we could create another maneuver. Oh, and there's Kerbin all the way over there, so we can at this point we can create a maneuver node that will help us land on the surface. So we're going to do that right now. And I want to land somewhere where I can like easily see Kerbin without having to look like all the way up. Almost similar to like that one picture of NASA's Apollo mission. I don't exactly know which mission it was, but you could basically see like Earth from the moon. It was really cool, so I want it to be kind of like this. So I'm going to get our periapsis. I think that's a periapsis. I don't know. But we're going to move the maneuver node to like right in front of me so I don't have to like execute the burn super quickly. So we are now going to time warp. And if you look in like the middle, somewhat right of the bottom of the screen, you could see a note in T minus whatever time that says. That's basically that's like the time we are going to execute our next burn because of our maneuver node. That's what it told us. Now for some reason it told me to like make a complete orbit around the Mun. I don't exactly know why it was telling me to do that, but oh well, we can just follow what it tells us to do. It shouldn't really take too long, by the way. And there's Kerbin, and then we should be passing the sun right there. Alrighty, and we're about to execute our burn. I'm gonna keep time warping so we don't miss a lot. Alrighty. We can now execute the burn at this point. And it's a small burn, so we don't have to use full throttle like I just did by accident. So we can get rid of that. We can go into our map and see what we can do from here on now. Usually when my rocket is like halfway through the analepsis, halfway through the periapsis, I don't even know if I said that right, but that's usually when I would like to start to retrograde or burn in a retrograde direction. So I can slow down in order to land on the moon, or the Mun. I'm getting all mixed up now. Okay, so like I said earlier, I wanted to see the Mun, or the planet Kerbin, as soon as I landed on it. So I'm going to execute the burn about a third of the way, or throttle up a third of the way. And we're just gonna keep doing this until we slowly start to go down onto the surface. And this could take a little while. Unfortunately, I can't time warp because, well, I couldn't really control what I was doing. So we're going to lower our landing gear. And as you can see, those green lights, those are batteries, and on the other side I have 2 solar panels, and they're on opposite sides of each other on the rocket, just so I can have a little bit of power for the capsule where Valentina is right now. Because when I use the SAS, which is this thing I've been using to like help me point my direction, it uses a little bit of power, not too much, but you know, it's if I mess something up and I take too much time, it's not going to be good if it runs out of power and I no longer can use it. So yeah, I do apologize for the long wait. I have been noticing that some of you guys have wanted a little bit more talking in my videos, and well, I mean, I don't blame, because I usually enjoyed watching a lot of commentary YouTube channels. I'm going to put up our resources right there so I can see what I'm doing or how much fuel I'm burning, because I want to have enough fuel to leave and head back to Kerbin, obviously. But as I was saying, I will try to talk more in my videos. My whole uploading whatever I upload, it's kind of weird because like my last video, or I guess my last stream, was like a Fortnite stream, and then the video after or before that was like a Minecraft Let's Play, and I sort of just like gave up on that. I mean, I'll probably post it. That's me checking my heat shield just to make sure it's there, because last time I forgot it and it did not go well. But yeah, my whole YouTube upload thing is weird, and I do apologize for that in case if you are getting a little bit angry at that. But we are now below 10,000 meters off the surface. So we are slowly heading down onto the surface, and I've cut out the engines and I'm now turning it back on. The reason why I did that is just to save fuel. So all we can do here is just wait. You don't want to go too fast, because usually when I'm like about to land, I want my speed to be like 0.5 meters per second, just to be safe. We'll fire up those engines again to slow down, and this might be a good spot to see the planet Kerbin from here. So we're getting pretty close to the surface now. We'll fire up the engines again. Try and save fuel. Don't want to go too fast though, because then we'll start going back up and then we'll be wasting fuel. We're just about there. And once we have landed, we'll let Valentina head out of the ship, and then she can take a few EVA reports and a ground sample and plant the flag, of course. Okay, so we are about to land on the surface. Just go slowly. Just about there. And boom. Just like that, we have landed on the surface of the Mun. So now we can retract our ladder, which is around the bottom. Let's get that out of the way. Alright, extend the ladder. And we'll bring this thing back up. So now we can have Valentina go EVA and she can climb down. So she can take the first few steps. Alrighty. So she's just gonna walk around for a little bit. Play around with the low gravity. And do a little spin around jump. Alrighty, look how happy she is. And then we can see Kerbin right from there. So now we can start. Look how happy she is. Look how excited. So now we can start the ground samplings and planting the flag. Let's do a plant the flag first. So there we go. There it is. Alright. And we can name the site as well. For the site name, I'm going to put it as the first Mun landing. And sorry if you can't see, because it doesn't record the part where I type, so I do apologize for that. First Mun landing, and now the black text. I'm gonna put I feel small. There we go. Now we can have her take a surface sample. The darker midland surface appears to be made up of basaltic rocks. I don't know how to pronounce that, but you can just see Kerbal from there. Could be an excellent screenshot. So now we can also have her take an EVA report. The dust is getting everywhere. Haha, funny. So now that's all she can do from the ground herself, and we can now go to the service bay on the ship. She would have to board though, so we're gonna have to wait for her to do that. Okay, so we'll climb our ladder and then board it. Alrighty, so now we can open up the service bay. I'm actually going to move the rocket around a little bit to see where I would go, but I'm going to aim the camera and open it. Alright, now we can open up one of our mystery goo experiments. The goo seems to be less dense here. And then here's the pressure scanner, and then our temperature. Alright, so now that we have done our science experiments, we can close this up, and then we can let's do a little cinematic zoom out, just like that. You can see planet Kerbin in the distance. So we are now ready to leave, and let's start burning. So there we go. We are now leaving the surface. I should probably retract that ladder. And then we'll retract the landing gear. And then we can start getting into orbit. And the Mun has no atmosphere, so once you like start going up, you could immediately turn. So I'm gonna burn a little bit more, just so we can stretch our ellipses, and that looks pretty good. I will create a maneuver node, so we can get into orbit. So that's a little too far, and it's too low. There we go. Let's move it around a little bit. Alrighty, so now let's get into our correct position. And then we can time warp this to go faster. So let's do that right now. We're going a little bit too slow. Let's speed it up a little bit. Alright, let's start the burn. And it's not a very long burn too, so we're going to want to be careful. Alright, that seems about good. When there's a check mark there, that's pretty much when you can stop burning, because you know you're in orbit. So let's go to our map mode. And we're going to create another maneuver where we are going to get out of the Mun's sphere of influence. Alright, so you basically just put the maneuver node in like the direction of where like the Mun or the where Kerbal is. It's kind of hard to explain for me, but kind of hard to see where your maneuver is going, because you can't really tell because you can't focus on the planet. But it kind of looks like it. I'm just gonna assume it's there. What if I look at it this way? Yeah, it's perfect. I'll just bring it down maybe a teensy bit, like that. Alrighty. So that's perfect now, so we can time warp. So first we're going to get into our position. So here we go. Alright, now we can start burning. I was a little late there, but it's not a big deal. Alrighty. We are now on a collision course with Kerbin. And no, I did not forget the heat shield this time, which is good. So now we can, basically what we can do for now is just time warp. And the direction we're going to be in is in a retrograde position, because I'm going to disconnect the cap module from the actual rocket itself, because that's where the heat shield is. So let's warp. So goodbye Mun. We are now back to Kerbin. So now let's get into our retrograde position, and we're gonna time warp a little bit more because we're not quite there yet, but you can tell we're like going super fast, which is not such a huge deal. So we are going to disconnect that now, and we have the heat shield this time, so nothing bad should happen. And heat shields are pretty strong in this game too, so there's really nothing to worry about. You can see the other rocket starting to heat up too much, and now it'll probably just break when it reaches the surface. So you can see the heat going, slowing us down tremendously. I don't exactly know how far we are from the space center, but you can hear the whole rocket blowing up. That's not a problem though. Alrighty. We are slowing down enough to where we are no longer heating up. Then we're going to release our parachutes in a bit. Okay, we're going to release them now. So we'll wait to slow down. And this could probably take a little while, so I should probably just time warp it. Oh, you can hear the whole rocket probably crashed on the surface. So now we can time warp. Just go a little bit faster, and the first two parachutes have extended completely. I'm just gonna time warp it so it can go a little faster, because it can be kind of slow. I added 3 parachutes. I don't think I really needed to, but I mean, I did have a service bay on it, and usually I don't do that. But you can see the Mun from there, and there's a little dot right there. I think that's Minimus. It could be, because Minimus is the second moon. Like I said, this is a different solar system. Planet Kerbin, which is Earth-like, it has 2 moons instead of us having 1. So there we are. We have successfully landed onto the surface. So actually, I want to see if that's Minimus. But here. Oh yeah, it is Minimus. Alright, so basically that's the end of this video. So the only thing we could do now is just to recover the vessel, and I will do a little cinematic zoom out for you to end the video. And if you guys are not already, please subscribe to this channel, and be sure to follow my gaming Instagram, which is 2bdkidyt, and I will see you in the next one.